Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Aurogiri. Today is a special episode, it's very different. Joining me today is Shkai, and a couple days ago he did a video called Onigiri Rant, a solution for PS4 players, and in it it's essentially a rant, and it's about a 20-minute video. I recommend you guys go watch it. I'll put it in the description after this video is done if you want to go back and look at it. But he was giving his 2 cents about the state of PS4 and how it is, and the problems that many players face, this and that, what can be done, what can't be done, looking at PS4 JP, compare it to PC, things like that. And I watched it, and I looked at it, and I'm like, well, I said a comment, like, we gotta discuss this, man, we gotta talk about this, we gotta, we just gotta get it out there, right? And my channel's bigger, so he really just wanted it shared. So if I do the discussion and we have it together, then we reach a broader audience and can just get more comments, more input, and maybe get word out to Cyberstep, whatever we can do. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself here. So this is King Shkai on YouTube or Shkai on PS4.
Again, hi, my name is King Shkai. Thank you, Aro, for that very inspiring intro.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it so good. They're great. But I'm very happy
just
to...
right quick, do you know if you're shared, like, in parties to talk?
Most likely.
Most likely. Just, it's the one thing we didn't double check. Do you know how to check that and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so Renji
Always
said,
allowed.
what's up?
Yep.
Is it allowed?
Yeah, it is allowed.
Alright, good. I didn't want to just go like 5 minutes in and just like talking to a ghost here.
Yeah.
So, alright, so...
I'm talking just in the background. But again, hi, my name is Sky, or you can just call me Sky, or King Sky. I'm very happy to be here making this video with you, Oro. I just really want people to know, how I feel, and I want this to get shared out to everyone, just so that maybe we can get some kind of workaround with the current situation that we're in Aurogiri. Alright, Onigiri.
Yeah, did you say Aurogiri?
Yeah, I said Aurogiri.
Alright.
But, a lot of people have been saying that, there's not going to be much change, but there's not, much that you can do just sitting down here. So I do want to share this out with you guys. Hopefully you guys share it with people across Onigiri, and we can get this out to Cyberstep, and it can just be some kind of discussion for us, Me and Oro have talked about some solutions before the video, and basically we just went over some basic stuff, and very simple and very, smart solutions from Oro here. Basically, we both came to some, agreement of, well, of course we agreed. We're not.
I'm not gonna be like, no, we need to be harder, damn it.
Yeah. But basically, we both feel like there could be many solutions, but, there's just not any here. So, obviously, maybe something just needs to be said. Hopefully something can change about this. I really do hope so. Oh, what was that?
I don't know. Don't worry about it.
But basically, we were talking about how, there's always in traditional MMORPGs, there's some kind of trade around, so where you can usually walk up to a stash and just, from one character to another, stash something into a cache or something, walk over to another character, log in, and, get it from that cache, from the other character, carrying over items to items and carriers. This is just one of the many solutions that we came up with. I just kind of want to just start off the bat.
Yeah. So, like, in a more broader sense, the main issue that we're addressing here is the fact that PS4 doesn't have trading and how it affects gameplay, how it affects players, the community, and this and that. And, like, one of the first things is, like, well, what if we could, trade items between our characters? You have 6 characters. Some might say that's only for resonance, or so you can make another character and throw more money into it and make Cyberstep happy, things like that. But, generally, with how Magatama drop rates work and how they're made with trading in mind, where you're running through Izumo, you get a Leo, and someone's running through Izumo, they get a Lord Enma. You're a wand user, they're a spear, you swap mags over, vice versa. Like, it's made with trading in mind so that you can go like a 4-man party into a mag dungeon, everyone's farming. If someone gets the mag you need, hey man, I'll give you like 10 OC for it, and they pass it over, you get something they need. If not, you put up a stall. Like the game was made with trading in mind. And with PS4 not having it, I know JP's like that as well, and they're surviving to some extent, the same thing we are. It's still not right in a sense. And what it really does is it makes a lot of people who really want to play the game, who want to be deep and all that stuff, and they want to be like really good players. Like, if you can't get your mags, you can't progress, and it holds a lot of people back. So what we're really talking about here is like trading. So, and the lack of. So if we could, like, I always say fence items over to one character to another, like that are all your characters, like it would be really helpful. So.
Right. So yeah, like you said, basically just there's a lack of trading in this game. There's no trading in this game actually whatsoever. And basically we're just coming up with solutions for it, because again, like you said, the game was made with trading in mind. That is why the drop rates, for Oni or for Magatamas are so low. Is because somebody else will get it, and then it wouldn't be such a big deal because they could just trade it to you if you really needed it. And like you said, just, oh, here, just give me 10, 15 OC for it. We don't have that. We don't have that luxury. So what we have to do, we have to either spend money on a drop boost or wait for Fever, or all in all, you just have to still, either way, grind your life away in a dungeon to get one single Magatama. And again, Cyberstep didn't plan this. They didn't plan it to be like
no,
this.
it's Sony's fault at that point.
Yeah, it's Sony's fault. They just haven't looked too much into it, is what I'm getting from it. They haven't looked too much into putting in solutions for us to get our Magatamas the way we're supposed to.
Yeah.
I feel like they're still focused on fighting, Sony, and getting, the trading that we were supposed to be receiving with the installment of the game.
Like, one thing I'll always say about trading and why it's not here is because, I think Sony's mentality is they don't want some free game where people put real money in and trade something. They know people, how gamers are. They know that, like, you can see this on Xbox right now, where they'll, the people who know that they can get infinite Amaras from bargains. We're going to talk about bargains after, but the people who know they can get infinite mags from bargains, they stock up on them. People that skip them, they're at a disadvantage, and they become at the mercy of those who have. It's like having the apple tree when you accidentally messed up making your own tree, and it's like they just get infinite of them every day. And they'll go in and they'll just get an Amara, ornament it however they want, use glitches to make it perfect, whatever. That's not the point here. But what is the point is that they can get that Amara mag, that Himorogi, whatever it need be, and it's like, oh, this is a really, really good mag. Like, minimum, how trading works is, for Magatamas anyway, is if Amara is 16 chakra, it sells for 16 OC. You can alter the price higher, but it can't go lower because it has a minimum trade price, and for mags, it's equal to the chakra. So basically, if, let's say, Shkai needs an Amara, and I have them in bargains, or I just have some, I just give it to him 16 OC. Or I could, if I say, well, I ornamented it, it's got good stuff on it. It's like 30 OC. It's like, oh, okay, cool. That's like 16 crit. Let's go, you know. But they know that, like, let's say back in Echigo, the Dragon Spear was like the most coveted item ever. It's like, oh my god, it's the Dragon Spear. It's amazing. And then, like, I've actually read stories where someone built a Dragon Spear to 100, and like I read a forum, not a story, and they traded it to a guy for minimum price, but they PayPal'd behind the scenes for like $80 for this weapon. Little do they know, when you get like Kusatsu and Warabizuka, you can get a Predator Spear infinitely better. It doesn't take artisans, and it's like, oh well, it's like, yeah, mom, I got the best weapon ever. It cost me like $50, and your mom's like, you paid $50 to do a game, and like, and then they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with getting calls to Sony about, man, this guy ripped me off. Like they don't want to deal with that stuff, and then the kid tells their mom or whatever. And as Everyman comments here, because I see the comments, Sky won't, is it is a rated M16, or not M16, but it's rated M17 plus game. I totally get that, but we all know that like 30% of the people who play are like teenagers, preteens, people like that. So, because it's an anime game, it's fun. So like Sony, I believe their whole perspective is that they just don't want to deal with that drama from people being people in an economist game and using knowledge over non-knowledge, things like that. So that's why I think there is no trading. But then Microsoft's like, American company, we don't give a shit, go for it. So like, that's how I see it.
Right. So we can just you know, talk about the solutions. Mainly the first solution that we came up with, well, at least that I came up with, just, you know, well, no, Aura came up with this. Resetting
bargains.
Resetting anything. Bargains, you know, if you really wanted to, you could just reset anything. As long as it's friends. Resetting bargains can help many people. It can help Wand. It can help
it can help everyone, because, you know, it's not just mags, but there's items that are supposed to be in the game called like Moth Orchid, Chrysanthemum, SP items that heal you 1000 SP, like eating it. And if we had readable access to those instead of only seeing them at like negotiation like 4 when you're like level 40 and have no idea what's going on in the game, like if players had more access to you know, the bargains, SP items and stuff, we'd have so much faster times on leaderboards too, because you could run at SP fighting some boss, and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna pop 1000 SP, done. You know.
Oh man, don't forget about lively bulbs. Getting those at negotiation 6 once you're at 7.
Well, it doesn't work that way. That doesn't work. I have lively bulbs in bargains right now.
Oh, do you?
I have 146 of them in storage.
Wow, I don't have a single one.
Yeah, like that's a misconception with bargains, is that there's a thing per specific negotiation. It's all about resetting it. Like, when we say reset your bargains, it's not in the sense of buy all 3 items and then come back and Moroku's going to change the items he sells you. That's what we call resetting our bargains. What we're talking about is like putting in a slider of sorts. Like, you click on Moroku, sort of like how when you go to Miyamoto. I'm going to open this menu real quick here, just to show like a frame of example here. So if you go to partners, like any Vanguard, right? So special, Miyamoto has all these options on the list, and like you go to edit skills, and then on edit skills there's a button here that says replenish swaps. Let's say for Moroku he had this and it said like adjust bargains, and you click it, it brings up a slider that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just select the level you want him to be at, and then the game just plays normally, but he's still level 27 or whatever you have him at. That way it doesn't screw people out of things they just didn't know about, or force people that are like level 100 to make a new character after they spent $50 on this character or whatever have you. So like that in itself I think would help a lot of people, because like axe players that can't get Himorogis, wands that can't get, you know, the Shoko, Shote, whatever, you know, they're still mags. You know, it doesn't help bow much, but there's a lot of like Amaras for swords, all those things, Odachi, Dusk, thing, yoke. Basically, you get the gist of it, that if that was an option where you could just adjust your bargains so that you can actually get the things you need, it would just be awesome. It'd be plentiful. But even if we had trading, all it would create is for those who mess up their bargains, they're at a disadvantage where if they need those items, someone else who knows what they're doing just trades it to them. And as the game is, even if you had trading and you made an alt just to harvest Imhirogis from them, you would still have to trade those items to some friend, and then the friend would trade it back to you, and that's like double taxation on trading, and that's like dumb. Because you can't, like, how the game's supposed to work is even if you put up a stall, you're supposed to be logged in for it to stay there. But there's a way, like if you DC, the stall stays there. Like if you DC in a loading screen, the stall stays there, and you could just easily like go through a load screen, you know, cut the internet to your computer, your Xbox or whatever, and then you force that DC and your stall stays there. You come in on an alt and you just buy it. That's literally how those consoles can do trading between themselves, but they have to have stalls for it. So that's one workaround, but it's still not perfect. So that's what we mean for like resetting bargains and stuff. Just choosing your negotiation level. It's not, you've already proven that you put in the work, you gave your partners 3,000 friendship items, your max level, great. You know, now it just comes down to using what you've earned, you know, just go back in time. Who does it hurt? I don't know. So that was one solution, or a couple that we came up with. So
another solution, it was also brought up in a comment. I'm pretty sure it was by Eva.
Yeah, it was Eva's comment, yeah.
Drop boost. The thing with drop boost, it would kind of be more controversial than just increasing you know, the percentage of a drop. But the thing with the drop boost is, you know, they would use that drop boost to go farm something totally different. Maybe if there was like a specific drop boost for mags, that's a different, you know, a whole different story. So say if we had a drop boost and someone needed like gems and they just go farm palace or something else, or
and what he's talking about here,
they abuse it.
Like one thing we got to do is we got to address each topic before we go into it. And what he's talking about here is the like there was a suggestion where what if we just always had like a drop boost fever to make up for the mags or lack of trading, you know, like as much as we want to talk about mags because it's the cornerstone of a character, this also affects like someone who gets like a winter moon dew and they don't need it, or just things like that. Like what if there was just this permanent, because of our disadvantage of no trading, what if there was just this permanent drop rate boost on PS4, like 100% drop boost all the time, didn't even say fever time, it was just always there. Like, and it's specifically made for mags. Like what if that was put in place? Like a lot of us have thought about that. And then he's basically saying like, well, it's for mags, but then over time it's like, well, I'm just going to go farm gems, I'm just going to go farm, you know, seal always on 100%, things like that. So that's what he's talking about there. So you can continue.
Well, like you said, basically, you know, like I said, continuing, you know, farming different things would be the issue. That's like the only issue with it. Is, you know, one thing's meant for something, such as drop meant for mag drops.
Yeah, because that's the main issue. Yeah.
Someone's going to abuse it and use it against something else.
It's not really abusing it, but it's like using the good cause and then perverting it for something else.
Yeah.
Like diverting its cause. I mean, at the end of the day, there's still no trading. I'm not saying that if someone got a seal, they're going to trade a seal, but like, you know, it'd be helpful.
Trading would be a help in all.
Yeah, like.
Well, they can't really give us fever either. Fever would be nice. I don't want to get too in the topic of you know, fever as a compensation, but
yeah.
Another thing to look forward to is the reduction for the recipe. So how it is right now, we have. Here, actually, I can bring it up and just name it off the top. So, say for my Reretsu 105 recipe, which I'm farming like crazy for now. I need a Himuragi Magatama, a Handgun Magatama, a Wadatsumi Magatama,
Thorwart.
And a Thorwart and a Bloody Festival.
Yeah.
So we have to farm all these different Magatamas in order to make 105. It's different in the aspects of PC and Xbox will have trading, because whenever they walk across one in marketplace or trading, they can pick it up whenever they see it. We instead have to go out and farm all day, every day, until we finally get that drop that we want.
Yeah, like especially if you messed up your bargains, you know.
Yeah, like I did. I messed up my bargains. I know plenty of people that have, so I'm not, the only one. I messed up my bargains on Wadatsumis, and I have to go farm those. And
Himurogis.
Oh yeah, Himurogis.
You have Wadatsumis, you gotta go get the, yeah.
I have, you gotta go back to get the Wadatsumis, or Himurogis.
Yeah.
They do not drop easily, and it is very tiring to go into older dungeons and just farm all the time.
Same thing with like the wand mags that you miss, but it's all generally the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's generally the same thing. But basically, they're gonna get shortened. Is the point I'm trying to make. The recipes, if you don't know, there's an update out for every single console and platform that is ahead of us in updates. There is an update to where we get a shortage in our 105 recipes, and if I'm not mistaken, we only have to have 3 mags instead of 5.
Yeah, like once I'll talk about the recipe reduction. So like when recipe reduction comes, it came to like PC like I want to say late this fall. I want to say around then, and basically they cut out a lot of the really hard to get drops for most of the 105s, which are basic staple for getting anywhere in the game. So like for example on Axe they cut Himuragi, they cut I want to say the Handgun, but then all you need is the Wadatsumi from Bargains, the Bloody Festival, the Thorwart. All very easy to get, very easy compared to the Himuragi. Like everyone has to farm the Hybrid Mag, Bloody Festival, Log, Ronin, all that stuff. Like for Spear, who has to go farm, Leo and Cancer, they cut Leo and Cancer. So they cut Leo Cancer. Bow, they cut Melon and Pineapple. Sword, I don't know if they cut anything. The wiki doesn't tell me, but generally they cut out a lot of the fat, like the really hard to get. They make everything easier, so the game is more approachable. Like most MMOs do that. Like once you get to a certain part in the game's life cycle, to bring in new blood, they bring in the new players. They don't want them to go over the same 6-month trek just to get with the people that have been playing for like a year. Like, and it's not just Magatamas too. Yeah. And it makes it easier for us too to like get more of that stuff. But it's not just mags. It's like the 105 weapons like Galardios or Galardia and Brigandia, Genobuster, all those things. Like Genobuster now, like for Spear reference, you need like a plus 52 Dane's Elf. And Kurum, I saw the comment, and I don't want to sound rude, but I will come to it. He asked about the fuse bags and stuff. So I'll totally talk about that right after this one. So, shit, where was I?
You're talking about the recipe for...
Yeah, like it affects weapons and stuff too. Like Genobuster, you get a Dane's Elf to plus 52, and then you make a Genobuster with that using a lot of drops, and then you get the Genobuster to 45, and then you get like a bunch of other crap drops, and then you make the Brigandia, and then you get the Brigandia, then you make the L. It's all part of this big chain of events. But after the reduction, you get a Dane's Elf to like 10, you have a Genobuster. Like it's easy. You get a Genobuster to like 10, you have a Brigandia. Like it's not exactly accurate, but it's basically what it is. It's just piss easy for a lot of things.
Right.
So like veterans at that point become very easy too, because there's not much work that needs to be put into them compared to now. So like that goes on, that goes on. You know, everything gets moderately reduced up until Mephistopheles weapons, I want to say. I don't think those get affected at all, but everything from the beginning up until Mephistopheles weapons will be lowered. Like L and L Sin actually get lowered as well, for those who don't know. And it's one of these, because I know this exists, I tell a lot of people that if they're not like super horny for L and L Sin, to wait, because after this reduction, L Sin does not take 2 fused, they take a whole fused out, and you only need one of the you only need 1 fused Magatama instead of 2, so that's great. And they take away 1 Fallen Cross, they take away like 6 rewards that you need for it from the moon dungeons and all that stuff. So the recipe reduction, like as much as we want to talk about like solutions for the Magatama problems and like people having problems with their builds, messing up bargains and stuff, ultimately we know that there is this thing coming. So Cyberstep, as much as they should be in a hurry to give it to us, like there's no reason they shouldn't give it to us. As many solutions as we say for that, there's already one coming. So like rest at ease for that. That is happening. It's just we wish it was here sooner. And I'm going to keep going for a quick sec because he wants to talk about the drops for the 117. So he's talking about fused, and you know, I'm more in that area than you are, I think. So so moon. So you're saying there's problems for drops for the 117. So the biggest problem I feel about the 117, and this everyone who's tried to make a fuse or has a fuse pretty much feels that if you don't have the seal, you don't have anything. Like, once you have the seal and the recipe, then you pretty much have the mag. But if you have everything but the seal or everything but the recipe, you're still at square one. That's how I want to feel about it. So hardest part about a 117, and they are related to 105s because you need a 105 to make a 117. So if you can't get your 105s, what's a 117? So 117's fused, and fused do get affected by this reduction as well, but it's not that much. It's not that much. Like when, like let me pull up Thunderquake and be right professional for 10 seconds of my life here, because one little thing about the wiki is that most of the spear recipes are adjusted first before other things. Like you can find the spear tempest recipe on the wiki, but you can't like find sword, let's say. So if I look up Thunderquake fused real quick here, so Thunderquake Magatama fused, load that up. So adjusted recipe for this is you need a Thunderquake, a Wild Goose, Nubatama, Akatsuki Yami, and then like 2-3 gems, a seal, blueprints, Wandering Spirit, and Winter Moondew. So normally for us, you would need a Thunderquake, a Cygnus, Wild Goose, Nubatama, Akatsuki Yami, some gems, whatever, they're really easy, seal, blueprints, globe, Wandering Spirit, Moondew, and Elixir of Immortality. So they do cut a little bits and pieces from it, but I don't feel it's all that important because it still takes a seal. Like, I don't care. You know. So I got a comment here. So Vanguard comes in as well because Moon's hard and Hell require. Yeah, I agree to a certain point that Hell Moon dungeons would require a Vanguard to run them more efficiently, or at least a really good party. But yeah, I get that. It's usually the rewards that hold you back. Like, you can't drop boosts for rewards. It sucks, but I think they're fair to some extent. Solutions for 105 or 117 mags though, like apart from this reduction and stuff, soon enough Oni Palace of Rain is coming. Hey Shadow, he said hi to you. So Oni Palace of Rain is coming, and when Oni mode Palace of Rain comes, it's said to have a high seal drop rate, or a higher seal drop rate, so that's good. And it drops like 23 first class medals a run. Yeah, so like when Oni Palace comes, you get like 75 medals a day if you can do it. And we've done the math for this. If you did all of basically like 90% of Oni mode every day and Palace of Rain, if you did that for 16 days, you'll get a fused Magatama. So it fucking better. Oh my god. So like Oni Palace of Rain is going to be a solution for 117s. It's going to help. And if we had, now this is a bigger thing. We talked about this earlier, but I'm just going to keep going because I'm rolling here. So one thing we didn't have, or one thing we don't have, is we don't have Origami Magma and we don't have Nightshade and Alethetep. And they're two wardings that are quintessential for just people's builds. Origami Magma was supposed to come out like back in Satan times for PC. Like I was told it came out right before Satan or like around that update period. So Origami Magma, I want to say like, I don't know. I don't really know when he came out, but he came out really early for them. And in Origami Magma, like if you go to the wiki, like I'm on the wiki right now. I'm gonna look up Leo Magatama, like Leo, you know. So you scroll down. It's like, where does this drop? It drops in Assault, Origami Magma, Hard, and Hell. Great. What is that? We don't have it. Like a lot of the time, I get whispers, I get messages, and I got people be like, "Where's Origami Magma? I can't find it." And I'm like, "I'm sorry to tell you, it's not here." They're like, "Why?" I'm like, "I have no idea." But like this dungeon that has an Odachi for Odachi players, that's not the best Odachi, but still cool. You know, it drops the Leo Magatama, it drops Geminis, it drops Melon, it drops Pineapple, it drops Lord Enma, it drops all these mags that are needed for 105s and just things you want to ornament as a fourth mag, like things that are just really, really helpful. Like I believe that Taurus drops there, and it's a spear mag that's rarely seen. It does. Taurus drops there on normal and hard, and it's like an 8 chakra spear skill force mag that we could use with fuse, and it'd be great. But I've never seen a Taurus. I'm not farming a Taurus. Get out of here. Like but you know, like not having Origami Magma hurts us so much because it's such an easy avenue to make mags. And it's the same thing. And Nightshade and Alethetep, Nightshade, she has rewards. She's all reward based, very similar to Glacier's Typhoon, where Glacier's Typhoon can give you like Glacier's weapons or veteran weapons if you're extremely lucky. Nightshade has in her rewards, or even in her drops, she can give you 105 Magatamas, just flat, just made. So just to double check real quick, I'm gonna look her up. So I spelled it wrong. Nightshade and Alethetep. So you look her up on the wiki. She's there, purple, sexy lady. On Hell, she actually drops Lively Bulbs 8% of the time. Seems like a good drop rate. I don't know. There's not much on her page, actually. But if you look in the comments, January 9th of this year, someone said, "Is this dungeon available on PS4? If so, where is it?" So people are looking for it. Like, but it goes unanswered. So if you look up, let's say, like, Thunderquake, you'll see that it'll drop in that dungeon. Like, Thunderquake, scroll down. It says... Or maybe I am wrong that that you just get random 105s from it. That's what I heard. But you can get recipes from her. But you can get it from a Magatama box. So either way, Nightshade and Alethetep does give... she can drop the fused Magatama recipes. That was you? That was you who commented that? So there we go. Small world. Small world right there. I just want to double check and look up the fused again, because I didn't look at it in terms of her. Yeah, it says recipe reward for fused Magatamas. They can drop from Nightshade and Alethetep on hard or hell, SS or S rank. So for people that suck with Lacus or Palace of Rain in terms of Thunderquake, they could run her dungeon and potentially get, you know, a fused recipe. Because I know that sword users have a huge problem with Benkei Factory and their recipe, and, you know, everyone has problems with their recipe. You know, it's that whole thing. But basically what we're saying is that if she was available on PS4, it would help, you know, with that hardship. And furthermore, one time we had a dungeon dash, and one of the dungeons Cyrus had put out for people to dungeon dash to get the best times in was Nightshade and Lethotep, and like all of us commented and said, we don't have it, we don't have it, when we don't have it. And you know what they did? They changed the topic. They changed the dungeon dash to like Hail Tiamat, and people ran that instead of addressing the fact that you stated a wording we do not have and did not put it in the game. So they just completely dodged the question. They dodged the accusation right then and there. So, and the same thing with the same thing with Origami Magma. Like, I've tweeted at them before, like, where is this thing? Why does this not exist? And I don't really ever see any replies when I just commented or whatever, but there are two things that should be here but aren't. And it's just like, we're like that middle child that they don't care about, you know?
We're forgotten. Like,
yes.
sometimes.
So I've been saying stuff for a while. So anything you want to talk about right quick? Or just, you know, take the wheel?
I mean, I can bring up the situation with Vanguards. I don't know if it's relevant.
Yeah, well, we were there was a comment about Vanguard. Let's talk about him, yeah.
Well, let's see. What was the comment on Vanguards? Vanguard comes in as well because Moon's hard.
Oh, you pulled it up.
That
okay.
is like, yeah, I pulled it up. That is it's very true, because at my current state, I only have the 2-scroll 0 right now, and that's what I basically depend on for Palace, and it doesn't really help out too much in Palace, sadly. So I'd usually go in there and I'd farm for my Himuragi. Of course, yeah, you have to have somewhat of a strong
like, you can have the best, you can have a 150 Mia, but if you're walking around with like stupid pierce mags, like, they're not going to do any damage. If you got defense mags on, yeah,
you're not going to be able to charge up your Mia. You're not going to be able to do anything. But besides just Vanguards, I mean, you could go around and talk to people and figure out where you can farm together. That's what I do with my team. I go in there in Palace with my team, Shadow and Frimy, and we stay in there for about an hour or two, and I get what I need. You know, Vanguards, I feel like they are a necessity in sometimes, but I just want to say don't depend too much on them, because
like, I want to say, like, yeah, they're really good, but they're not a necessity, because that means you need it. They're more highly appreciated.
Yeah. They save you. They save you sometimes. I'm not gonna lie about that. They save you. But don't revolve the game around Vanguards, because the game is revolved around your character. Your characters are, you're nothing without the Vanguard, and the Vanguard is nothing without you, because you can't charge the Vanguard. You can't charge the Vanguard if you're not worried about, you know, take a baby step. Take baby steps to leading yourself up to use a Vanguard, because I had trouble doing that until I got, you know, my rhyme perfect, my perfect rhyme. I couldn't use Azura in Palace, and just making that rhyme, it saved me a lot. So, you know, don't make Vanguards too relevant.
Like, they're really good if you have them, use them, but like, if you use them like a crutch, you're gonna fall when archers shoot the shit out of them in Palace. Like,
you're gonna be so mad.
You're gonna be drowning in prayer crystals. Like, we're not saying Vanguards aren't good, or like, you know, oh, just don't use Vanguards, but you have to have a strong core. Like, it's like picking up like Excalibur. If you're like shit, Excalibur is not gonna be in the right hands. So what we're doing is just having a discussion, like a video response to Shkai's video, because he made it the other day, and we're just having a rediscussion about it. So for those latecomers, that's what we're doing. This is why everyone wants 150. Well, yeah, like, if 150 Mia is like omnipotence, though, you know, Miyamoto is just great everywhere. And that's a good comment too. You've noticed that without Vanguards, with Vanguards, you save a lot of Ryu in repairs, and you do. I noticed that, like, when I farm cat, like, let's say I farm cat, if I just use weapons and just farm it like normal, well, every lance is 50 dura, you know, etc., etc., I end up, you know, doing like a $1-2 million repair if I just stay there until all my weapons are broken and just get money, right? But if I do it with a Vanguard, well, I use like 10% of my durability throughout the course of the hours I'm there, or whatever I'm farming. Vanguards save a lot of dura because they have infinite dura. Like, don't ever think that Vanguards are not a part of the game. Like that there's some extra, this external force that just makes you cheese everything. And Miss brings up another point, is that after Vanguards, the mounts are coming. Like, next update for PS4 is Ifrit. So, you know, like, Ifrit's gonna, like, shit on other things. Like, that's how Cyberset works. It's like you have, like, Miyamoto to do, you know, Miyamoto's, like, the god Vanguard. And then, like, Sasuke comes out, and she's, like, let's say 70% Miyamoto. And then Luna's, like, 40% Miyamoto. I should start doing speed runs, like hitting like speed up when I make the video, like training grounds. Maybe I think about it sometimes, but you know, it's just the direction that the game goes in. Your Miyamoto's 109, only 2 scrolls. Damn, mine's 108. You're putting in the work. But speaking of Vanguards, it's not easy to get. It's not. I got it kicks. Nah, I don't know about that. Times aren't like my thing. Like Lyra does those videos. Let him do that. But I could make a couple. But what you had said about Vanguards not being easy to get them, and we did discuss this. This is a good point. One thing we like as Vanguards, right? Like, they can cost a lot. Like, you guys have heard me talk many times on my videos that I spent like $850 trying to get 5 scrolls for me to go to 150, and you know, like, that's a lot. Like, that's 2 times the console, like the console price. So I'm trying to say, like, one thing we talked about was, like, let's say when Vanguards come out, you could just drop $50 a scroll. And, like, let's say that you pay $250 guaranteed for a 5 scroll Vanguard. Out of the, like, top 100 players, they on PS4, they would probably say, "Oh hell yeah, $250 for a Vanguard? That's fucking cheap. Let's go." And sometimes you can get a 5 scroll Vanguard in $100. Sometimes you get it in $400. It's a gamble. Some people might look at $250 and say, "Ha, I'll take my luck rolling," and then they'll get it in like 150 and they feel great. But then there's people that know what it's like to not get it and spend a lot of money, and they'd be like, "Oh, $250 guaranteed, done." Like when Ivis came out, and we have to talk about Ivis as well. When Ivis came out, she was in a non-Coropon unit with Red Luna and Ivis. So people who wanted Ivis had to dip lots of money in, or they were extremely lucky, because they're fighting against like 2 other Vanguards in the same unit. Like Azura and Miyamoto, I was talking to someone last night, and they said they spent $1,400 trying to get Miyamoto, and they got like 15 Azura scrolls. Like, they were like in the same boat as me, but way more. There was a guy who spent $1,500 trying to get Miyamoto 150, and when he realized he was at 150, he just quit the game, because then that's you know, unsupervised gambling. That's like unrealistic gambling. It's dangerous. So Rinji says, on JP you can buy scrolls of every Vanguard for OC. You don't have to spin. Yeah. So that comes eventually, and we do know that, and I'm completely in favor of it. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Like, for those who were going to spend the money, let them. Because the minute, you know, like, all the high-level players or the people that spend in a lot of money, right, like $250, that is a lot of McDoubles. It is. But if you're serious about the game, it's like, well, at least it's not $400 worth of McDoubles. God damn. You know, like, it's not going to be like that. Where was I? So, Vanguard Scrolls. So, like, I'm in favor of that when that comes. So, here's a comment. So, funny story. I just realized Lancelot has buff skills that can turn her slice skills, which 90% of her skills, into pure element. Okay. Your comment got cut off. But, you know. So, generally, there's all those irks and quirks about Vanguards and their exclusive, how exclusive they are as well. Like Miyamoto comes out, you know, she lasts a month, 2 months, and then a new one comes in, you can't get her no more. And that's how Cyberset works. They want to bring something out, people see how great it is, some people don't, and then when they see it in action, they you know, they want it. So when it comes back, they make it a little harder by putting Ifrit, or not Ifrit, but what's his name? Azura in there, and people are getting Azuras and not getting that and all that stuff. So, like, it's a lot of money, like, sucking, but if people like the game, it's great. But what I was saying is, like, if they care about their high-paying players, like, you know, people that are going to spend, like, ups to $300-400 a Vanguard, they don't want them spending $800 for one, because after they do that, they're going to regret it and they're going to stop playing, and then they lose one of their cash cows. That's, you know, we can call the players cash cows at this point. And we did the math for this. Like, let's say that one time everyone spends $500 in a Vanguard. Cyberset makes like $25,000, right? That update, because that's just how it works. But the next update, like, yeah, it's Ifrit. It's going to work. People are going to buy it. We can't use this example right now. But then the one after that, like, it's going to be Oda. And that's another really good one. But some people might just want the accessories and not care because they already have 150 Mia. Like, once people get 150 Mia, they don't really care about many Vanguards until, like, Phoenix comes out way later, like Ho-Oh. Or just mounts, because they're just cool. But, like, after someone splurges, like, 300, you know, like, an insane amount of money in a video game, like, you gotta take that perspective sometimes, they just stop spending. But they're gonna keep playing because we've spent $500 in the game, I'm gonna damn well play the game. It's a trap. It's a money trap. It's like, not many people are willing to, like, just stop what they've invested so much in, and that's the number one reason a lot of people still play, even though they might not enjoy the game or the drop rates and all that stuff. But yeah, like, a lot of players, if it's like, if you spent $300-400 in a Vanguard, and you tell one of those people, hey, for $250, would you like to get a 5-scroll Oda Nobunaga? Fucking let me get my wallet, sir. Slam that on the table. Credit card, let's go. Like, it'll happen. So, all the high-level ideal is Ifrit and 150 Mia. Yeah. Yeah. It's great. And then monster types will come and change things up. But, you know, like, there's this and there's that. So that was a big little rant there, big little rant, oxymoron rant. But so anything you'd like to add real quick, Shkai? Like, because I think that pretty much addresses, like, what we wanted to say about Vanguards.
To get back on topic about mags, we know we came up with the solution that's for sure coming. You know, we talked about that. But what if we don't, you know, what if we don't get that within the next month or so, and people are just, you know, like he said, horny to get to that 105? Like I am. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm really wet to get my 105s right now. I
So,
just want, there has to be some kind of, you know, workaround, you know, if it's not coming. So, you scared me.
yeah, he wanted me to do that. He wanted me to show it off.
So, if you know, if we don't get that within the next month or two, or we don't get that in the next update, like, you know, some people think we are.
Yeah. Like, if we don't get that reduction,
what will we have? To just, you know, farm?
Well, you have two ultimatums. You have two or three ultimatums. Like, an ultimatum's usually one choice, but we have a couple of them. One is sit there, do nothing. 2 is farm like you did before, maybe even harder. 3 is pay $15 and change your class and go play one of the free-to-play classes until the recipe reduction comes out.
That is that's a good.
That's like literally, if someone plays Bow, chances are they're going to go play Twin, because Twin has mags on the moon. And one of the bigger problems is there's no spear mags on the moon, there's no bow mags on the moon, there's no wand mags on the moon. Why? Because they're supposed to be an Origami Magma. But they're not. So that sucks. And one of the reasons why we think, like, we had this, there's this one theory where, like, in the game, the classes that are supported on the moon, Sword, Odachi, Axe, and Twin, are all very close range, intimate classes where you have to get really close to do your damage. And anyone who's played Onigiri will know that someone who's, like, with a bow is a lot safer and can do pretty similar damage from afar and be safe. So safety is great because that means less soul eggs, less dying, better rewards, things like that. So, like, Onigiri range is, you know, better. Like, in most combat scenarios anyway, range is just better. Like a bow, wand, spear at mid-range, bow longest range, and then wand is also long range. And then staff is technically long range. Like, you can shadow ball, you can holy light, you can holy pillar, you can, you know, rolling thunder, etc., etc. Staff has options. It's there. You can watch the big video where the guy killed Lucifer with, like, Soul Strike. You can go do it. But, like, you know. But you see, like, times are more a thing that I think sword users think about, because, like, spears know they're, like, not going to be as fast. Or not spears, but, like, you know, a lot of them, it all really depends on the person. Like, I don't want to start calling people by their class as much as we do it. It's not right. But as a solution to not getting your stuff, like, it's very, very, very easy for an Axe player who cannot get their mags or whatever to, in the time being, go get, like, a Gallardios or something when they're trying to get their 113. That's usually what you do, is, like, if you get a 113 for something, build it up, and if it's, like, an Odachi, Twin, you know, like, more or less you're either going to have dexterity in your build or you're going to have power. And anyone who has dex can play Twin. And go get the mags and go make hunters and be, or not go make hunters, go get the hunters and, you know, make dancing waters and play that until something new comes out, you know, until that reduction comes. So as a temporary solution, you could just play another class, keep your title as it is and just play another class in the time being. Like, if that's the biggest struggle, like, I can, without even changing my title, I can go put on 3 dancing waters and I can go beat Palace Rain on normal, and that's enough to go get, like, a seal. You know, like, you can do it. I feel like that's an option.
That's a very good option, considering doing it myself, to be honest.
Yeah, like, sword won't be hard to build. Sword, Odachi, whatever you want to play. Twin, whatever.
I can switch to sword, but I mean, that basically covers, like, everything. Like, that's basically the solution for now.
Yeah.
You know, seeing that we will be getting the reduction for the recipes.
Yeah.
But, you know, what about the people? Like, I'm basically just asking you, directly, because you're more experienced, you know. So, what about people that are literally, like, at that edge, you know, of leaving to, you know, to just stay back? Like, what should they do to stay? Like, what should they do in the meantime while waiting? You know, if it doesn't come within the next week or next month.
Well, anything's better than standing around the rift bitching. You know, when we were talking, we said hashtag stop the bitching. And, you know, like, if you're just doing nothing, like, you try a bit and then you just give up, you know, and you're just standing around. Like, it's great. You love the game. You want to be here. That's why you're here. If you were really pissed off, you'd shut the game off, go outside, and I don't know what people do outside, but you do something outside. And, but ultimately, I think it comes down to the whole principle of adapt or die. Like, you know, if man didn't, it's like, man, like, you know, you gotta adapt to things. You gotta adapt to the situation at hand. If you can't get it, like, everyone can farm it. Never say never. Like, I never thought, like, I'd have an Elsin. I have one. Like, I never thought I could do that. I never thought I could make 6 Thunderquakes. People have made more than me. Like, it happens. It's just, and Z's brought it up. It's not that it's hard. It's that it's time. and
Right.
time is the biggest thing. Like anyone, like because I've been playing the game for like a year and a half now, I have 105s for every class. Like if I had more bloody festivals, I'd have a Reretsu per. I only ever have one bloody, but I can have like 12. If I can go find some Amaras on the moon, I could get some other stuff. So Garu says it'll help if Shkai doesn't steal field bosses. So apparently he's stealing field bosses. That's another thing too. Like go kill some field
I won't
bosses.
steal your field bosses. Yeah, field bosses are very helpful. I'm sorry, Guru, if I stole your field boss. Usually, what I do when I do farm field bosses, I put up a
A box.
I put up a box above my head and I say field boss hunting, and I'm literally alone while I'm doing it. So you can join me at any time. I'm usually farming at login, so like. And they're in the recruitment. So if you're around on login, and you know that I'm gonna be on join.
Yeah.
But what most people do, and I hate when they do this. Like it kind of it ticks me off, of course. But it's part of the game. When I put up the box above my head, and I'm sitting there and I'm saying join. I'm waiting for you patiently. And you wait until the field boss is like low on health. I'm not gonna just let you stand there and kill it. I'm sorry, but like I don't know. It's just, to me, it's survival of the fittest. Like I have to get that. I've been grinding it for weeks now. But I'm sorry if it is that way. I don't want it to be that way. I honestly don't. I don't like it the way it is right now. Wish it could be different. I wish I didn't have to.
I'll tell you
bosses.
a way to make it different.
Have to steal it.
When it comes to field boss, all you have to do is R1 it and you'll get the drops. You don't have to kill it. It doesn't matter what party you're in. All it matters is the experience.
Well, Garu, did you hit it? Because you were at my level. I know who you were. From low levels. I didn't steal it from a low level. Anyway.
But ultimately, moving forward, like when it comes to field bosses, when I see a field boss, and something I like to say to anyone about field bosses is, if you see a field boss and you see other people around, just like go hit it with an R1. And if you want the experience for the low level, like let's say a low level's with you and you want to give them experience, sure, let them join your party, let them hit it and get the experience. That's fine. But I think just as a common courtesy, everyone should just, if you see a field boss and no one's around, R1 it. Worst case scenario, it's chasing you and it's going to hit you for 200 damage. Calm down. And, and yeah, if you don't see someone and they don't load in, well, that's how it is. You just R1 it first, and if there's no one else there, give it a minute. Give it a minute and then kill it. There's no crime and punishment. There's no laws in this world. There's only common courtesy. So, you see a field boss, R1 it. When I say R1, I mean basic attack for those. Like Xbox isn't even R1, it's R2. Telling a friend to steal it for you on stream is stupid. I guess it would be, Gar. I mean,
telling a friend to stream what? Telling a friend to steal it for you on stream is stupid.
I guess it would be.
Garu, I'm not like 100% understanding what you're saying. I'm not trying to be rude to you at all. Like I honestly don't have a problem with you joining me. Like I farm it all the time. Like I said, I literally stay there and farm it. So again, if you see me, I'll 100% always have a box over my head. If I don't see you and I just kill it, I kill it in like 2 hits. So I probably don't even load you in. I'm like really focused on it. But if you see me, join me as soon as possible. Because I honestly don't want to steal it from anyone. That's not how I play. I'm not like a dude. I know people like that.
Yeah.
And I know how it feels. Trust me. You don't have to have anything against me. I mean, if you want to, that's you. But I don't want to make this about, the problem with you. If you want to talk to me, you can. you know, you see my, I can give you my PlayStation. I'll comment it in the comments actually. But again, I am sorry if I stole it from you. I don't, you know, I don't mean to be that negative person. I don't mean to be that person.
Yeah, like
So,
sometimes it happens. Sometimes you don't see someone, and now that there's different render distances in the game, right? Like if you go to my settings, right? Because we can now change our render distances. My render distance is 70 to help with lag and stuff, and players is max, whatever. Like let's say you only show up within 80 meters of me or whatever. Maybe I don't see you. You know, sometimes it's your render distance. I'm not saying everyone should have their render distance at maximum and have the game load really slow. I don't even know if that affects it or not. It all comes down to rendering or whatever. But generally, like a field boss, like field bosses are supposed to be this big giant raid boss that everyone goes fights. But how Onigiri is, they're fucking trash mobs now. Like they're whatever. But if someone steals your field boss, like I feel like there's a difference between stealing a field boss and just walking up and whatever. Like all I can really say is if you see a field boss, R1 it, look around, and then put up a box. Sometimes people just don't join; they just don't get that they'll get experience or whatever. But as long as I hit it, I really don't care. Because I know I'm getting my drops. Field boss experience past 100 is dick anyway. It doesn't do anything. It'll level up your Kiji Muna if that's what you're really worried about. Go farm gold Rumas. Like, it's not that hard. But I say, like, it's all about drops, field bosses. They're just a big pinata walk in the field. R1 it, look who's around. You know, as long as you R1 it, you get your stuff. You take care of you first. That's basically how it should be. You don't want to walk around the world just worrying about other people. You got to worry about yourself first. But you want to be considerate, so you just weak attack it. But, you know, that's just how I see it. But I think it's time to move on from that point, because it's at that point it's just a difference of opinion or just you know, general butthurtness. So
again, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make it seem like it's not a big deal because
everyone's been there.
Somewhat of a deal. Yeah, I'm sorry, but well, what do you want to say, Auden?
One thing I want to say is that I think that if you go to the store, you can, like the in-game store, you can see that there are these Magatama packages for like new players, and we talked about this a little bit. And these Magatama packages, they have this like ass Magatama inside that you start the game with, and it helps you. And by ass, I mean they're bad. They're abysmal. They're just worthless. They're not skill force mags. It's not like, oh look, I got a skill force mag. Like, it's like, no. It's not some starter kit that teaches you how to play the games. Like, oh, you should aim for these mags. Like, it's not like that at all. Those boxes, and I think a lot of players would agree that if they should be the Magatama boxes that PC gets, that we don't get, that we heard rumors of, that you open it up and there's a chance there's a fuse inside, or a 105, or a random mag of a certain type, all those things, you know. Like, if I open it up and I got a fuse, great. If I got a Tauros I could ornament, even greater. You know, like, I think that those boxes should be available. Like, we should just be able to buy Magatama boxes. Like, they should be like Overwatch, where you can just buy loot boxes if you want, or you can grind them out, you know? Like, you should just... Cyberset makes more money. I don't think they lose anything from it, except for massive drop boosts. Like, for people buying drop boosts. But eventually they just stop, and they say, fuck it. It drops when it drops, I don't care.
Everyone gets to that point when, you know,
yeah,
they don't need drop boost anymore, so...
I honestly think farming in Naki Swame or something with a drop boost is more detrimental, because you're getting all this shit from flies, or all this shit from skeletons, whatever you're farming, they're dropping too much stuff. And it just gets in the way of getting mags. Whereas a mag just drops, it drops, whatever. You know? So, I think they should be readily available. If not from the store, then from the Point Daruma. Give people something to grind for, whatever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and then in the case of in Magatama boxes, as he says as well, didn't you say there were some dungeons that were in events and different platforms that we can get boxes in?
There are,
like you said, like we both know, well, not we know, but we we talked about before, they're not on PlayStation 4, are they?
No, like they're
From what I
mostly
saw before.
PC events and stuff.
Yeah. So like again, it wouldn't hurt to put that, you know, implement it into PlayStation 4. That would help us. Like you said, that would help us a lot. Like you
Hmm.
said, Fuse can drop in it. 105s can drop in it. You know, anything that we might need can drop in it.
Yeah.
The marketplace is a huge, very great idea. I don't know why they didn't put that there in the first place instead of defense mags. That will become irrelevant as soon as we hit, you know.
Oh, and one thing I said that I liked was that there should be an achievement for reaching level 105. Like, just like I had an achievement for reaching level 100, they give you Ogi card 3. When you reach level 105, I feel that you should get a challenge come up, an achievement, and it's like, which do you want? And it is basically enforcing the whole thing where you have to play a class at some point in the game. You can't just be dicking around 4 different weapons and 1 mag of each type, and it's just you're going nowhere fast. You know, there should be, I want to say, like a hint that you should have other stuff. But what about Xbox? We need updates. We're so behind. You guys are, but now that Europe's getting a server, you guys are going to get updated a lot more. The best you got from the spear bow mag box is a pressure point. I mean, it's pretty good. It's a pressure point. It's not bad. What I was going to say is, like, let's say you hit 105, you get an achievement, and the game brings up a list, and it's like, which one do you want? And you just pick a class. It says sword, odachi, axe, spear, twin, bow, staff, wand. And you pick one, and you get a 105. And then what that does for the player is, like, here, you get 1 free 105. You get the mag, and, like, it's going to have the same effect as the Amber Magatama has early game, where it's like, oh, I got this mag in Kyoto, and it's like 2,000 defense. Oh my god, I'm invincible. I love it. And that's one of the only reasons people wear defense mags, because that's what the game spoon feeds you and you think it's good. But if at 105 the game gives you a 105 mag, and you put on your Sky Rending and you're like, oh my god, I'm so powerful now, I need more of these. And then that brings the right mentality, so then you work to get the recipe, you look at the recipe, oh, so I need this, and then it puts the player, like, just on the right path right then and there. Like, as the game is right now, everything is very, I want to say the word floundered. It's like, you know, it's everyone's, you know, we're like a bunch of chickens looking around to find, like, a way to go. And if we didn't have the wiki, everyone would be really bad at this game.
Yeah, we'd be lost.
Like, man, Shit Creek would not, like, there wouldn't even be enough paddles, like, in some other creek to get us out. Up Dew Creek without a paddle, you know. Like, some people would figure it out, but it took us, like, a good couple of months to figure out what skill force was. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's a rank 4 scout? Like, what's this? What's that? Like, not to talk shit about people in general, but I still, like, look at profiles now and again, and I see, like, people wearing, like, Scorpios that's like rank 8 spear skill force, and it's not helping them because those moves don't exist. But I think there should be, like, more achievements that help players out. Like, you know, like that 105 thing, or if you reach 125, there should have been an achievement. It's like, here, take a spirit seal or something, man. Like, here, take it. I don't care. Like, how much incentive would that be? If they said you get a lunar spirit silver in 125, how many people would be 125 right now? Like, at least 5 more people. And one thing that I don't like to talk about a lot, but a lot of the times people will complain to Cyberstep on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and they say, oh man, mags suck, this, that. And we're going to talk about the case of Ching Ching. So Ching Ching used to play, but he quit a while ago because he spent like $200 for Dart Miyamoto, like, and he's like, man, I don't want any of that. Like, he was free to play before that, pretty much, and he just said, no, I'm done, I don't want it, and he deleted his character. He said, just wash his hands of it, and it was gone. A lot of people hear that and they said, oh, what a lucky guy, or oh, what an unfortunate guy. I wanted to break down his fuse before he left, but he didn't do it. I was upset. But when he was farming his bow mags, he needed a pineapple. And he told Cyberstep, he's like, hey, I'm having a lot of hard time getting this pineapple. And they said, oh, well, have you tried just farming the dungeons on hard, or using a drop boost, or a fever? You know, the basic generic corporate answer. And he kept talking to them. He said, well, he showed them his monster card, and it's like, well, I have like X amount of fly kills. How come I don't have this? And he showed them, and eventually they said, well, we don't like to give things to people. And he kept talking to them about it because he had someone talking to him, and eventually they caved in. So they caved in, and there's a picture of it somewhere, of him getting a pineapple in his present box on PS4. Like that can't happen. They literally gave it to him as a gift, and he made his 3rd attack star. So, as much as they say they don't do it, they have done it, and it's really, really weird. It's this weird basket of worms where, like, so you can tell me that because the game is flawed, let's say I run Lacus 24/7, I've killed more flies than you've killed in Nakisawame. Can I just say, I've killed this many flies? Can I have an Akatsuyami because I want them in the friggin' Lacus? Like, I don't even know if they drop that or not, but, like, I think they don't drop mags. But, you know, can I just present a card that says I've killed so many Gyokotsus or whatever, like the little skeleton guys? Can I have a watermelon from Den of Needles? Like, can I just do that? Like, is that a thing? It's this thing where it's like, yeah, it worked one time, it shouldn't have worked, but it happened, and then it's like, well, can we do this? Is it gonna happen? Like, it's this weird, you know, can of worms that if you want to dig it out, it's just like it turns into like when a clown like pulls out all the napkins are all like tied together. It's like, fuck, you keep pulling them out. Like, what's the point of this? Make more mess. Like, but that did happen. And our friend Setsuna tried that too with Palace, with Spirit Seal. He told him, he's like, man, I got like 900 Palace runs. Can I get a seal? Like, my seal's not dropping. I don't get it. And they told him, well, seal's a lot different. Like, seal's an exclusive item. There's nothing we can do. And, you know, that was it. Like, it's a seal. You can't, like, they want people to buy those drop boosts in the dungeon that DCs us and all that shit. And, you know, all that bad stuff. So sometimes it does work to communicate with Cybersteps. Like, if you put in the work and the time, I think that they would want to give a little charity to keep a person playing than to have someone just, you know, quit and be done with it, and then they don't make any money from that customer anymore, that player. But that's just something that happened. I just wanted to say that it did happen. It's a thing. I don't know how many people talk to them. I don't know how many don't or do, or how much success they've had, but it has happened before. So that's one thing.
Yeah, Cyberstep does help some people. They do, you know, reach out to some people and listen to what they say. For instance, they did actually listen to me. I didn't contact them directly. I went through Sony and this whole process.
Oh, I remember
one
this.
Day I spent,
I told you what to do.
I spent $100 in OC, so I got, you know, I was supposed to get my 1,000 OC. I didn't get it for at least like a week before, you know, I called them. I let them know, you know, I didn't get my OC. You know,
package.
I don't know if this is a problem with. Yeah, I didn't get my OC package.
It actually is a big problem.
It happens. It happens to a couple people. I'm sorry, and like, it's not too heard of, but it has happened, and I know it has. But you know, I called both Sony and Cyberstep. You know, Sony and Cyberstep talked, I guess, and I don't know if they figured out, you know, where the problem exactly was, but, you know, I did get my OC back. I got the money that I spent $100 for, and, you know, honestly, if I didn't get that, I probably would have just stopped playing the game, or putting money in the game. I probably would have kept playing, but putting money in the game.
Oh, well, let me rephrase that. So it wasn't that you didn't get your OC rewards. It was that you this is what he did, was he wanted to buy 1,000 OC or $100 worth of OC. He put the money in the transaction, but he did not get the OC. It never came to him.
No OC
it's not a campaign package problem. It was like he put money in and no money came out. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. There was no, like, it's like giving money to a banker to change it to another currency and you just get nothing. It's like, well, what the fuck?
Like I made sure that, you know, the money was out of my PlayStation Network account, you know, and took it out. You know, my wallet was empty, my PlayStation wallet was empty, and, you know, I didn't have my OC. So they had me take screenshots and send them to them, and, you know, problem solved. So it's not like Cyberstep doesn't completely neglect us, and that's why I feel like it shouldn't feel like that. It shouldn't feel like that, but like it shouldn't feel like they completely neglect us, because some people do feel like that.
It should never feel that Cyberstep is our enemy or whatever. Like I don't know what it is, but there should be a better player developer, you know, relationship. There should be much more interaction. Like they should feel like our friends. Like when a GM comes on, like what's a GM? We never see GMs, and like GM, like when a GM comes on, like they should just like, it should be like a mini event, and they should just give people like boxes, like presents, and just like everyone in the player list, just give them, everyone who's there, just give them a something in their present box, like a Magatama box, or, you know, things like that. Like they should just be more man, what's that word? Like more generous, like, you know, give samples, you know, be benevolent. That's the word I want to say. And just give stuff out. Like there should be more, like we should applaud them. Like it shouldn't be like a lot of the time you say $$ because it's like a demonization of them. Like that's a thing. So what is your comment? You told Cyberstep about Gakuho crashing your game twice in OC restored energy. They gave me 3 full restores, 10 soul legs, 100 drop boost, and 300. Like that's good. I've heard of that a lot of the times, where a lot of people, if they, and DC is a big thing, that if you, and we only really care about DC when it's on energy. Like if it's anywhere else, like even if you're on a boost, it's like I DC'd. Well, you know, the game's like that. If someone whispers you when you go through a portal, you DC. If you've been playing the game for like 8 hours, you go through a portal, you might DC. If there's too many people in a channel, you go in something, you might DC. You know? But yeah, like if bad things happen to you, you ever feel yourself getting screwed over, like let them know. They should be here to help us, like, you know, like it's their game, they want to see, they're the game masters. If something goes wrong, you talk to them.
Gotta talk to them, gotta fix it.
You can't just assume nothing happened. Yeah,
you can't, right, you can't just leave the game alone. You can't, and that's what some people feel. You have to speak out sometimes. Don't be scared to speak out to Cyberstep. But don't get greedy. Like don't abuse it, because then it's not gonna help anyone anywhere. You know, when something is like wrong with the game and it's reasonable, speak out about it.
Yeah, like if you put your money and you don't get money, or you know, things like that, or if you don't get OC rewards, like that's an important thing. But if it's just like, man, I can't get this damn mag, and I killed like 50 flies, I'm gonna call them up and I'm gonna ask for like 5 cancers, 1 for every 10 flies. Like don't be stupid. Like that's not gonna work.
It's not gonna happen. No.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
Be realistic, because that's how companies like this get defensive and don't want to reach out to
like be respectful, like golden rule, like, you know, do as you would, like do as you want. I can't even remember the golden rule, but it's like do unto others,
someone else to do. So like,
no, it's do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So like show respect and you'll get respect. If you show respect, you get no respect. You slap the bitch. No, I'm just kidding. You know,
don't slap people.
Yeah, it's a good collab, Hagra. Fremies here. So we've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes now. So I'm gonna let you just say, what do you think, if there's anything we haven't talked about that we need to talk about, or just, you know, make sure we get that stuff out of the way.
We basically talked about everything, to be honest. We got some extra stuff out of the way too, so
yeah, that's expected when you collab stuff, you know. Yeah. Brainstorm.
I think we're good here. I've covered everything.
All right, so we're gonna just give the audience a chance to ask any questions you guys have, because this is more like a talk show stream than anything. Like, do you guys have any input on the situation? Like, because we're only two guys. You guys all play the same game, assuming. Like, do you guys have any input or anything you guys want to say? Like, I know Miss keeps saying I want a free fuse and posting stuff. So Hagra has a question. Alrighty then. So what is the question for us? Do you want me to do bank? That's not a question. That's not a question. It's not an argument. Anyone else? You got a question. Alright, Aziz, what is your question? It's gonna be like Dew Palace. Need help? Alright, so Miss has a question. Alright, what is this fun? Is the game fun, David? Yeah, it is a lot of fun. If you know what you're doing and you have friends to play it with, the game is a lot of fun. If it wasn't fun, why would we be playing it? You'd have to be some masochistic to play Onigiri if you didn't enjoy it. Like, maybe we are masochistic. Maybe, like, honestly, I think everyone's had this thought where it's like, man, if I played another game and I got a really rare drop in like fucking 5 minutes, I would shut the game off. Like, this game's easy. God damn.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. Like,
gotta torture yourself a little bit.
Like, this game makes like other, like, it's like the Dark Souls effect where you, like, you play this and you go play something else and it's like, is this it? Like,
This is easy.
Yeah. This game tempers you.
I only have to farm it for about like a week? Okay.
Do I play on PC? I have a PC account, but I do not enjoy playing on PC. So, like, I have an Aurelia on PC, but she just exists to go onto PC and talk to people. So, Hagura's question is, will there be multiple Vanguards next update? So...
That is a very good question. So...
I've actually seen the Japanese patch update listing. I think you have too. But, when in the next update, in JP PS4 equivalency, they had Ifrit and Sasuke in one unit, and then there was Ifrit and Sasuke in one unit, and then Kintoki and someone in another unit, and then someone and someone in another unit, and I think it was Dart Miyamoto came back, and Valkyrie, or I don't really know. I don't remember who they all are, but there will be multiple Vanguards in multiple units.
I think it was Kintoki and Ivy.
Yeah, she's like level 3. What will happen if you get this melon? You'll get an attack star. Because we can only Vanguard switch using crafted level 100 weapons. So Rika, what do you mean about, like, I need to look at this. I'm gonna pull up my menu here to look at the comment, because you can do that actually. Go to comments and look at them in your menu. Okay, what would happen if you were to put on a craftable weapon that's not level 100 and level 100 plus, and you try to switch into a Vanguard? Because we can only Vanguard switch with... Okay, so Rika, are you on Xbox or PC or PS4? Like, where is this problem coming from? I cannot farm you a seal. Because I'm pretty sure I can Vanguard swap with any non-craft... You're on Xbox One. Okay, so you can only Vanguard switch using crafted level 100 or higher weapons. So what you mean by that is, like, you need a gargoyle weapon or a Satan weapon to Vanguard swap. Like, it wouldn't work if you had an Ichimonji Sarai or, let's say, a Rose Maiden. I honestly have never used a Vanguard with those weapons. I'll go check right now if you want. Like, we'll still stream, but I'll just go do it. I'm not doing Palace. Get out of here.
Okay, so she is an Xbox One.
Yeah.
Can you farm me a seal?
So apparently there's just inherent problems with Vanguard Miyamoto. That's not true. You need a certain amount of scrolls if you don't want the game to kick you out. Okay, so apparently it's just an Xbox player. I'll let the Xboxians, I'm calling them that. I'll let the Xbox players talk about that. So pretty much I can only switch using my Omen of Doom star, which is plus 100, without getting an error code. I'm gonna use an Oni no Dachi, and I'm gonna go switch. We don't have any problems like that with Miyamoto at all. So I'm gonna go to a dungeon. You only have one scroll, and you can do, and I can do it. I just only find you can only do it using that weapon. The scroll problem is absolutely wrong too. You need her at max level. So that's like some Xbox problem where Miyamoto does not work unless she's like level 100. Guess I'm going to normal because I've never done this on normal. And I'll get out Miyamoto. So not Siegfried. Where is she? So you all wrong. I can prove it right now. You think you can get a seal from Onigiri? You can try. But Miss, you got another question? Sure. And Zay's gonna just keep asking your questions. We'll take them one at a time. There's like no enemies on normal. You've been wearing blue hair for like all time PS4 as far as I know. Do you plan to change my hair color? No, I don't. That's part of Aurelia's identity. Okay, so I'll go to an Oni no Dachi and I will switch. It's fine. On PS4 we've never had like any problems with Vanguard swapping ever.
I'm currently leveling up, not leveling, but I'm gonna try it with I can use Emperor's too. Pretty sure it still works.
Wait, I'm using, how much damage did I do with an Oni no Dachi? Fucking 900k. Let's go.
Nope. Works perfect for me, and my zero is only 2 scrolls, not maxed at all.
I did 1,000,000 with an Oni no Dachi. This game's broken. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I don't want to do this anymore. You know how that more players that are in a party, the mobs will get more healthy? Will that change? Or that has changed for bosses. Some bosses in wardings, they give them a static HP, like gargoyles are like that now. They're piss easy because their health does not grow. Like most people can just do gargoyles now because they got nerfed. That their HP is always at a one-man difficulty, no matter how many players there are. So, but that's a part of the game. Like the more people in a dungeon, the more HP the mobs have. Like I don't know the exact numbers offhand, but like if you're playing the game solo, a mob has 100% HP. There's no way it can't. If you're 2-man, they have 50% more. 3-man, like, you know, like 200%, and then like 2.5, and then 3 times. Something like that. It's just this, like, it just goes up over and over and over. But usually it's not that much. Can I kill this thing? Was it like Grim Strike? Yes, I'm OP. But the Miyamoto Vanguard thing is just an Xbox problem. But yeah, it's just the blue hair. It's the way I like it. It's how it is. I almost went purple, but I like my hair the way it is. So, but I mean, these are a lot of general questions about like anything. I was mostly asking about things about the topic, but it's basically just an expansion of Shkai's original rant, but just you know, just expanding upon it like a video response sort of thing. So, you think we're good to end it here?
If there are any more questions.
Yeah, if there's no more questions, I think we're done here. But you guys can feel free to ask a question, and if you have one and we don't get to it by the time this ends, you can always feel free to post it in the comments. And like I said, his original video will be in the description. What are our goals in Oni? My goal is to get Miyamoto to 110. I'm supposed to be farming lots of weapons today, and then Lucifer tomorrow for money.
Well, my goal, my closest goal,
get your 105s?
Right now, just get all my 105s. Get my 3 105s, and get my Nova and Storm to 100.
Yeah.
Oh, where did you come Looking like it's pretty much it.
Yeah, it looks. Oh my god.
Infinite spawn.
Yeah, this is the real skill farm. Go and hide behind this tree. Oh wow, you can actually. No, I thought you could go under the stairs. You can't. Oh well. Upset now. Alright, so I think that's what we wanted to do here. We don't want to drag it on way too long. We're already an hour and a half in, but you know, you gotta say what you gotta say. So, so thanks everyone for coming out and watching, and you know, as always, this is more of a video about spreading the word more or less, like, you know, ultimately the goal that Shkai had was to just address his concerns about PS4, like a rant and all that stuff, about things he's noticed, and maybe get word to Cyberstep, try to get things fixed, try to get things, you know, addressed, solutions, make the game better, because, you know, if you just sit there and do nothing, nothing happens. If you try, at least you try and get things, you get a message across, if anything. So, you know, so it's originally your video thing, so I'll let you end it here.
Alright guys, well, again, like you said, thank you for watching. You don't have to, but again, you can check my video out, share your opinions, share both of our videos. That would be very great. That would be very helpful for, you know, all of us in Onigiri. You know, maybe we can make a change, maybe we can make a difference. But thank you for watching.
And we'll see you all, you know, next time if there is one. And, you know, and one thing I'll say about me is I'm always open to have a collab. If someone wants to talk about something or make a dual video with me, like, sure, man. As long as it's just 2 people on a mic and we can make it work, I'm all for it. So that's always a thing. So that said, I'll see you guys later, and hope you all have a great day and have good luck with your drops and whatever you're working on right now in life. Bye.